Hello, this is Business Negotiation Management XYZ Spring 2016, and I'm making this for the CAFE folks for certification. Let me get the thing into view here. So I've done this in student preview mode so that you can see what my students, potential students, will see. And we start with the home page, which is a splash page, which uh, some people like, some people don't like. I've been going back and forth on this, and I like it because it shows what students often ask the most is what's due, when is it due, and why. So the to-do list works very well. Now, as you can see here, I don't have any to-do list items because I don't have the assignments specifically connected to this yet. But that's what I've done in classes I've taught previously, the one class I've taught previously here at La Verne. So that's the home page. I have a start here with a video that shows how this course differs from other Blackboard classes. And that has specifically to do with the negotiated groups section and the negotiation collaborate, which is different from, or I'm assuming is different from what most people do. I could be wrong. But I have an embedded video here that talks about that. Moving on, we've got the syllabus as a separate link, and when you click on the syllabus link, it downloads the syllabus. I like having the syllabus specifically as something you can download so that people can look at it, and they also have kind of a snapshot of the class right off the bat. Some people, I have seen it embedded into the online classes before, but I kind of like it as a document that you download. In the future, I'd probably make this PDF, but it's either here or there. The other thing I've done is I've done a contact info or basic info page, quick page that someone can go to, and they can see how they can get a hold of me, when the classes are, and what the books they need to get are. I probably have some articles to put in here also, but for the purposes of this certification, I haven't gotten that far yet. Then we move on to the weekly units. So the weekly units I've done a little differently here. As going through this course, I found some really interesting and valuable information to do a little differently than how I've been doing it in the past. Courses I've taught, I've tried to do an online component, and I haven't found them to be as useful as they should be. And I think a lot of that has to do with what Corinne talked about here with connecting the objectives specifically to each learning assignment, or what exactly connecting objectives to what we're actually doing. So if you notice here, I've gone down in a format that is very similar to what Corinne taught. The overall focus of the class, or the overall design of the class, is a little different from what Corinne taught. But as far as the learning unit 3 is where I focused, and we go through with the introduction, what you're going to learn, what you're specifically going to do, the assignments. So for this week, we have a reading assignment. We have a video. Now, I haven't made this video, but there would be a lecture based on what I think is important from the reading. We have two, I believe they're 20 minutes each, TED Talks that have to do one specifically with the reading and then one with the activity that we're going to be doing this week. We have a quiz here. We have the live negotiation session. And I've put these, dates and times on here, but they're kind of subjective, obviously. And then I put a grading rubric in that's relatively simple. So that being said, everything else I put placeholder by all the other weeks, simply because we were only working on the one unit through this course. Moving on, the discussion section. I did week 1 and a week 3 because week 3 specifically draws on week 1. Compared to previous discussion sections, these are much more applied specifically to what we're learning each week. Before, I'd done a little more general discussion sections and I hadn't been all that happy with them. But for this class, Corinne brought up some really great points on how to do that a little better. Moving on, this is the negotiation groups. This ties into what the Start Here video talks about, which is going to be different from most people's Collaborate sessions or Blackboard sessions that they're going to have. Looking at this, we have the groups. Because they're live negotiations, we have to divide people up in groups. So one of the initial things they're going to do is divide into labor and management. That's where these signups are here. And you click on the sign up, and I'm just taking a class size of 30, and that has a maximum allowed of 15 each. Moving on, once they pick those groups, we've got the negotiation collaborate, which I've called the conference table. And this is a virtual classroom where they're going to be able to have their actual negotiation sessions. When you click on that, you come up to a lecture hall, which is where they're going to negotiate live via Collaborate. And then there's also office hours. So my plan is while they're negotiating, I'm going to be watching. And there's also one assignment later on in the class where I'm actually mediating at a point of impasse, a negotiation. And then the office hours is a chat room that I've set up so that anyone during negotiation can ask me questions live. So I plan to be there during the negotiation sessions that they have. That being said, that is my Blackboard page, and that is my plan for the class. So I hope you like it, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you much.